This is Anna Mack with a breaking Chili Dog Pod update. The shop that we were planning to cover this week is closed for vacation, so we'll have a regular hot dog shop episode again in 2 weeks. For now, here's a recipe from way back in 2018 that has become a staple of family cookouts. It's carrot hot dogs. The audio from this episode is a bit fuzzy because our mobile recording setup has changed significantly since then. You can hear computer sounds, the refrigerator humming, and there's a visit from Carmel, one of the loudest cats in podcasting. See the episode description for a printable recipe card, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with a regular Chili Dog Pod episode.
Hello and welcome to In the Kitchen with Mary Mack. Today's recipe is called Smoky Vegan Carrot Dogs.
What a name.
I know, it says it all right there. And yes, you heard it right. These are carrots that are used as a hot dog in a hot dog bun. So, yeah, that sounds wild. And I'm sure there was actually a how-to video on Facebook about a month ago making these, which was not right, by the way. But I've been messing around with these for a couple months now, and I have a really good recipe. And I have family members who are vegan, and they love them. They think they're fantastic. And as a matter of fact, we had a cookout yesterday, and I made them for them, and they just love them. Also, other people love them, which is kind of funny. But I have to honestly say, the first time I made them, it was just like, I couldn't stop saying how weird they were. I just couldn't get over how weird they were, because they actually have a texture, well, for lack of a better phrase, the mouthfeel. Thank you, Dave Bracey. They actually have that mouthfeel of eating or biting into a really high quality hot dog.
So it has like the snap.
Yes, it has that density and that snap, and they're not mushy, you know. If you follow the instructions, they won't be. But it's so weird. And they're in a marinade, which flavors them. And when you cook them, they smell like a hot dog. So it was really funny because I had actually made and prepared them and had taken them to work for my lunch. And I microwaved them. And everybody's like, "What are you cooking over there? Are you cooking hot dogs?" Like, no, I'm cooking these weird carrots that are... and like me, I'm an omnivore. I'll eat anything. Really, just about anything. And so I love to try things like this. But hot dogs, I really like hot dogs. And I realized after making these and like thinking about why I like hot dogs, I like the toppings. You know, I like the hot dog too, but I really like a hot dog as a food, the hot dog in a bun and everything, because I enjoy the different kinds of toppings, and I put all kinds of wild toppings on them. So I just enjoy that. And hot dogs give me terrible indigestion, so I don't eat them very often just because of that. And also my husband, for health reasons, he shouldn't eat hot dogs, watching sodium, watching cholesterol. So these are basically a carrot, and a carrot has like 30 calories in it. So like this whole stinking carrot. Carrots have many, many beneficial things about them, I guess you would say. They're an orange vegetable, which are great for your eyes. High fiber, good to eat. So when you take something like that, do what we're going to do to it and make that into something that you can take it in your lunch to work and heat it in the microwave. You can actually cook these on a grill. You can eat them like that.
I just thought of something really funny to do for a fancy party. Get a bunch of baby cut carrots and you can make fake little smokies.
Oh my gosh. You could seriously do that.
Yeah.
You can seriously do that. And you know how people do the...
like pigs in a blanket type things too.
Yeah, the little pigs in a blanket where you wrap them in dough, or you could even do them in... a lot of people do them in a sort of a barbecue sauce. They just cook them in there. Mm-hmm. They don't have a wrapping on them, and they taste good. I mean, they're good things, but imagine doing that with shortcut carrots. It would be so easy if you prep them like this and then cook them and you could brown them up a little and do that. That would be a wonderful hors d'oeuvre, or something to take to a party or a picnic or something, something, a little side dish. And people, seriously, if you chose the right size of carrots, people wouldn't even know, which I'm going to try that sometime.
Well, so I said the baby cut ones would be perfect.
Yeah, now you've given me an evil idea. So you have to sort them. And that's the same thing you're going to do with these carrot dogs. You do have to sort your carrots by size. You don't want thin super thin carrots, or sometimes how they're shaped like a wedge, like it's giant at the top and they neck down. So what I did in preparation for these, I bought 2 separate bags of organic carrots, okay, regular long organic carrots, which we were laughing because these carrots were like 10 inches long. They were hilarious. They were perfectly straight, beautiful carrots. So I bought 2 bags because the first time I did this, I had one big bag of carrots, and there were like 3 big giant carrots, and then a couple of middle-sized carrots, and a ton of these like fingertip. They were super. So I said I want to make sure I get. I'm able to select particular size carrots to use. So either examine if your carrots are loose, which you can sometimes get. That would be the easiest way to do it because you could pick a bunch that had the right diameters that you want. So you want carrots that are about at least a 1-inch diameter carrot. 1.5 is good, but 1 inch is also good. You don't want them smaller diameter than 1 inch because they cook a little too fast. They get a little too soft. They're about the size. The thinner carrots would be about the size of like a Hebrew National hot dog, and the bigger carrots are going to be about the size of a ballpark frank.
What is this measurement system?
That's my new measurement system I'm using. And this is what you're going to do to prep your carrots. Choose 8 because, of course, there's 8 hot dogs in most packs. I remember a comedian used to do this bit about why do hot dogs come 10 to a pack and buns come 8 to a pack? That doesn't make sense. Well, it's very rarely you find a 10 pack of hot dogs anymore, but you always get the hot dog buns in an 8 pack. So I always do 8 carrots. Select 8 carrots. You want them to be, like I said, the diameter 1 inch to 1.5 inch diameter, and you want them to be as long as the bun because you're cutting them. Why make them shorter? You can either measure your hot dog buns or whatever size you get. Sometimes the bakery buns are longer. So I would say kind of go with the size bun you like. Cut your hot dogs to that length. So what I do is I peel the hot dog, with a vegetable peeler, regular old vegetable peeler. Peel the hot dog. Peel the carrot. Peel the carrot with a vegetable peeler to take off the outside edges of it, and then cut it to that length. And then I save the end for another recipe that we're going to do. I used the ends yesterday that I had for coleslaw. So save those ends, or you can cut them up for salad or whatever. So you're going to have your 8 carrots prepped and ready. Now you've cleaned them and cut them to length. Put them in a large, low pan. I used a Dutch oven that I have with water, and you're going to cover them with water about 1 inch over them and put them on the stove. And when that water comes to a low boil, you're going to time that for 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, I'll say. And what you want to do is you want your carrot you want to stick a fork into it, and you don't want that carrot to the fork to just go into the carrot. You want to stick it just so you can barely stick it into the carrot. So usually 10 to 15 minutes there. You don't want to boil them hard, okay? But you're just basically cooking them to a almost cooked state.
So like al dente carrots.
Yes, like an al dente carrot hot dog. Then you're going to take them out and put them in cool water. You want to cool them off so they stop cooking. Okay? Now, you're going to mix up a marinade, and the marinade is the thing that's going to flavor the carrot. And the really funny thing is they don't taste like a carrot anymore after they're in this marinade. And I seriously thought that was really interesting because I've made marinated vegetables and grilled them before of all sorts, and they always, they taste like the marinade, but you always have that vegetable. And it's so funny because this particular combination, the carrot is gone from it. Okay, so the recipe that I found, I'm gonna give a shout out to the author of the original recipe that I found for smoky vegan carrot dogs, and that is Chuck Underwood. And I found his recipe, and I used pretty much his technique and somewhat his recipe. If I see something in a recipe that I don't particularly care for, I will sub in something else that I do care for of a similar nature, or just eliminate that item. So that's what I did with his recipe, but I did want to shout out to him because this was the best technique and recipe that I found and tried. And remember, as I said, we were going for something that was a lower sodium than a normal hot dog, because hot dogs, if you ever look at a package of hot dogs, and I mean even vegan hot dogs, even good quality hot dogs, very high in sodium. A lot of times ridiculously high in cholesterol. If you make these, I can guarantee you, you will have the reaction that I had when I bit into it and I go, oh, this is weird. This is really weird. But it was really good. But I wasn't expecting, you can't think about it being a carrot. I'll just say that. You have to not look at it and don't think about it being a carrot. So here's the recipe for the marinade. This is for 8 carrots. You can double it, then double for 16 or however many you're going to make. And what's really nice is if you have them marinated in the refrigerator, you can either grill or not grill them, but they'll last for several days and they work great. Like I said, I took them in my lunch, for a week, so it worked out really well. So this is what I used. There's a product called Very Very teriyaki sauce. They have a regular and a low sodium. And the Very Very teriyaki is, of course, a teriyaki sauce, but it has a ton of minced garlic and sesame seeds in it, to the extent that it will actually plug the bottle solid. You have to shake it up all the time. So that's what I used, okay, because I love the stuff, first of all. The original recipe called for soy sauce, and I really, really love teriyaki sauce better. I think it has a better flavor, and I love the Very Very teriyaki. It's like my favorite thing. So I used that because I thought that'll be really good because it's going to have the garlic and the sesame seeds, and it's just the flavor is so much more intense. Then you use a half a cup of cider vinegar, and I would recommend either using Bragg's or using Heinz. That's the natural vinegar that has the mother in it, very much more flavorful. So half a cup of Very Very teriyaki, half a cup of cider vinegar, and a half a cup of vegetable broth. And I just used a good quality low sodium vegetable broth. You mix those 3 together. Then you're going to add 2 tablespoons of real maple syrup, not pancake syrup that has no maple in it, but 2 tablespoons of real maple syrup. 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, or you can use granulated onion and granulated garlic, either one of those. I prefer the granulated, whichever one you want is better. And then you mix those together. What I do is I put the carrots in a shallow glass dish and put the marinade on. I try to keep them in one layer so they lay right in that marinade. And you can marinate them for at least 6 hours, or you can just do this the night before and leave them in your refrigerator until you're ready to cook them. When you go to cook them, all you have to do is basically lift the carrot out of the marinade, and you can either do these on your grill or you can do them in a skillet. I like doing them in a skillet, and I'll tell you why. Because it puts a beautiful, I'm going to call it bark. It darkens the carrot in a beautiful dark patch, and the more I think that marinade is left on the carrot, when you, like I said, I did them in the skillet. When you do them on the skillet, it's almost like that kind of burns onto the carrot or something, So what I did, I took a skillet and I put a couple tablespoons of olive oil in it, and I heated it up to medium heat, which was number 5 on my stove. And then I put the carrots in, and I just basically cooked them until they would get the darkened spot, turn them, darken, turn them, So they had a good browning to them the whole way around. And then they're done, ready to serve. You'd probably do the same thing on the grill, but honestly, I think in the skillet, I really liked them better because it does give it a lot more coverage there. Now, to serve. Now that you got them hot, don't leave them in the skillet because they'll just get softer, okay? So that's why you want to do it at high heat and just darken them, because you don't want them to get really, really soft, okay? Now, you have your toppings that you want. If you don't eat meat, there's a pretty nice vegan hot dog chili that's made by Amy's that you can get. And to be honest, most hot dog chili, if you read the can, doesn't have any meat in it. It's actually made with ground beans. So just read the can and see what it says. Read the label. You could put chili on these. They were very good with mustard, ketchup, relish, onion. So I'm going to give you a few combinations for topping here that you maybe never tried. We're from Western Pennsylvania. And the town that we're from, Newcastle, if you order a hot dog with everything, it comes with chili, mustard, and onions. That is everything. Okay? That's not everything. I mean, there's a ton more things you can put on. But in Newcastle, that is everything. So if you want ketchup on it, you have to say ketchup everything, but then everybody looks at you like you're insane because you want ketchup on a hot dog. I don't know where this comes from. You can have a Chicago style hot dog with all the vegetables on it. You can do, one of the things that I really like is there's a place near us, Butler, and a Butler hot dog has chili, onions, and a dill pickle. But again, I ask for ketchup and they look at me like I'm crazy. So, onions, chili, and a dill pickle. Delicious. Sometimes I like mayonnaise, pepper relish, onions. There's a lot of different combinations. So don't get locked into that hot dog myth, Try different things on them. Coleslaw is really good on them too. But you just top them the way you would top a hot dog, how you like it. And then don't look at it and bite into it. You'll love it. I'm telling you, when you're cooking them in the skillet, it smells like a hot dog. And it's just basically a product of the marinade. That marinade it's such a richly flavored marinade. Oh, I forgot one thing in the marinade. I found liquid smoke. I'm not a fan of liquid smoke, and the original recipe called for liquid smoke. But I found some liquid smoke that is made by Stubbs. And I love Stubbs barbecue sauces. And so I ordered this because, of course, they don't sell this anywhere near me. So I was able to order it off of Amazon. And it comes from Stubbs Legendary Barbecue of Austin, Texas. And it's hickory liquid smoke. So this last time I made them yesterday, I had just gotten my hickory liquid smoke. And I put that in. I put what did I put in there? I put a tablespoon of the Stubbs liquid smoke in also. And that really gave it a nice flavor. And here's another thing you can do, which I also have done a couple times when I did this. I have this rub that I got from 412 Barbecue, the Smoky City from Pittsburgh. It's a really good rub. So I use that as a seasoning on the carrots also when I put them in the marinade. And then I put a little bit on when I was cooking them. And that really enhanced the flavor. So there's a lot more flavorings. I mean, you can take this basic recipe, much like I did. You can take this basic recipe and add or subtract to it and really come up with, something that you like. But just do the basic carrot cooking instructions. You have to do that. And once you do that, you can run with it. But this is something, like I said, you can prepare these the day before and have them in your marinade and then take them out and cook them. You can make them and brown them in the skillet or grill them and then cool them and save them for future use. You can prep them ahead of time. And it's something that's much healthier than a regular hot dog. And I can vouch that you're going to enjoy it because I've had now forced 6 different people to try this and they liked it. It's really good. So nice, healthy alternative to a hot dog. Probably better for kids, I would say, because hot dogs are a choking danger for little kids. So I think this is something that you could do because these are softer to chew. And I think this is something your kids might enjoy too. So give them a try. And then maybe try that thing like Anna suggested with the baby carrots. I'm going to do that little smoky trick. That would be really good. That would be really good. Like I said, I hope you give it a try. I think you would really enjoy it. It's so simple. And it's also, hot dogs are expensive. You can get a whole pound of carrots for $2, and make your hot dogs out of them, So these aren't, and they're not nearly as expensive as vegan hot dogs. So this is a less expensive alternative to make a nice healthy food to do every once in a while. If you enjoy a hot dog and you're not allowed to eat them, for whatever reason, for dietary reasons, for health reasons, whatever, this is a great, great alternative. So I hope you give them a try and let me know how you like them. And we'll have pictures up as usual. And you can kind of see the process. And you'll think, wow, those look like burned carrots in that skillet. But they're actually good. So tell them where you can find us, Anna.
You can find us online at Mary Mac Bakehouse on Facebook, Mary Mac Bakehouse and Mary Mac Podcast on Instagram, on Twitter at Mobile Mary Mac, and on our website, marymacpodcast.com. If you're from Newcastle and have a favorite hot dog shop that we haven't covered yet, let us know on social media or email info@marymacpodcast.com with your suggestions.
Thanks a lot for listening if you did, and if you didn't, too bad for you.